Nigerian-born Kamaru Usman has been the reigning UFC welterweight champion since 2019. A savage fighter with an incredible fight IQ and an undefeated UFC record. Despite all of this, Usman is one of the most divisive champions in the organization's history, and opinions of his style and personality vary widely. One of the biggest criticisms often leveled against Usman is that he's boring, not entertaining to watch. But with a record like his, that can't be the whole picture. A humble personality behind the scenes and a monster in the cage, Kamaru Usman has some pretty savage moments to his name. Here are just a handful. Like, share, and subscribe to the Ultimate Fighting Network as we explore some of Kamaru the Nigerian Nightmare Usman's most savage UFC moments. Kamaru Usman started his UFC career in 2015 after fighting under the banner of a few other organizations. He was hungry from the get-go, pushing himself through the division with the championship as his goal. In 2017, Usman faced Brazilian fighter Sergio Moraes and dominated the fight fairly handily. He ended it swiftly with a knockout punch in round 1 that sent Moraes head over heels to the floor. Moraes' UFC career never quite recovered after that, but Usman went on to bigger and better things, announcing to the world, "I am a problem."
As dangerous as it gets and unbeaten in the UFC.
Oh! He made a statement. He dropped him out cold.
170s, get ready. I'm a problem. What?
Most fighters, no matter how well they handle themselves, end up embroiled in a rivalry at some point in their career. Kamaru Usman is no different. His rivalry with Colby Covington was rooted in Covington's inconsistent behavior, initially respectful to Usman's face, but rude and contentious online. It escalated when Covington adopted a strong political gimmick, including some racist comments, in order to sell his persona, something Usman found highly distasteful. This bitter battle with Covington had facets both inside and outside the cage. Before they even managed to face each other in the octagon, an interaction at a casino between Usman's team and Covington threatened to turn violent, despite the presence of innocent bystanders nearby. But in an unusual turn for a UFC rivalry, Usman, wearing a white hat in the following video clip, stood between his team and Covington, preventing things from escalating, using himself as a shield. No matter how satisfying it might have been to join his team squaring off with Covington, Usman chose the high road. For Usman, satisfaction with Covington wouldn't come until their match in 2019, which was Usman's first title defense as welterweight champion. It was a brutal and primarily stand-up matchup, and nearly went the distance with both fighters managing to win respective rounds. But Usman took all of his pent-up anger against Covington and used it to deal an embarrassing and infamous knockout win right at the literal last minute, and breaking Covington's jaw in the process. That's one way to shut someone up.
Him trying to put it out.
There's a knockdown for Kamaru Usman. Covington back to his feet. Oh, another knockdown. Covington in a world of trouble here.
We have to include one more savage moment from the Covington rivalry. In the aftermath, things didn't exactly calm down, especially since Usman sometimes did turns as a commentator for UFC fights. In one such situation, after Covington's victory against Tyrone Woodley, Usman spoke to him in his capacity as a commentator, and the conversation got heated to say the least. But the savage part of this exchange is how calm and collected Usman managed to stay under Covington's increasingly frantic outbursts. The best way to deflate someone is to make them look emotional and erratic. It was hard to take Covington seriously after this, especially when Usman continually and calmly reminded him, "I broke your face."
No, yeah, because you got the worst decision in the history of the sport. So many bad calls against me. Oh, yeah, no. No, you didn't. I stood right up. That wasn't even close. No, face. Marty Fake Newsman, you didn't break my face. I got right up and protested it right away. That was a fake stoppage, fake ref, fake fight. Wait till I see you next time. Wait till I see you next time, Marty Fake Newsman. You're dead. You're dead. We got unfinished business.
Really?
You better show up.
Really?
I'm coming for you.
You said...
Usman's fights often go the distance, a testament to his stamina, and probably the reason why some fight fans call him boring. While how boring decision victories are is a matter of opinion, it does sometimes feel like Usman saves his most entertaining wins for special occasions. In his 2021 fight against Gilbert Burns, Usman defended his title for a third time. Like most of Usman's fights, it was an intense match, with each fighter giving and taking in brutal fashion. But in round 3, Usman managed to knock Burns to the canvas and rain down blows on him, winning by TKO. Not just another victory, but a record-winning one. In defeating Burns, Usman surpassed previous record holder and legend George St. Pierre for the longest winning streak in the welterweight division.
Kamaru Usman backing up, trying to throw those big overhands and not allowing Usman to get
Oh! Huge right from Usman. This could be the beginning of the end.
It's over. It's over. Oh, look at Burns.
He's surviving.
Usman.
Not all trash talk is vicious. Sometimes being dismissive is more powerful than engaging in a war of words. Usman is the king of keeping calm in trash talk, and he and opponent Jorge Gamebred Masvidal found a simple way to degrade each other. Just pretend you have no idea who the other fighter is. It's not loud, outlandish savagery, it's a quieter flavor of savage, but no less effective.
You want that Gamebred fight?
The who?
Gamebred, Jorge Masvidal?
Who's that?
There you go.
I mean, you know, let's be honest. There's a lot of guys that are more deserving.
I talked to Dana yesterday. He said he feels like Jorge is probably the #1 contender right now. What about that?
Who?
To end this list, we're going to talk about something a bit deeper. On an episode of Joe Rogan's podcast, Usman revealed the tragic story of his father's wrongful imprisonment nearly a decade prior for some mistakenly bad business deals. Because his father was an immigrant, he feels that the 15-year prison sentence was heavier than it would otherwise have been. The interview changed a lot of detractors' minds about Usman as a fighter and as a person, and could be considered a turning point in his career. But what is mostly underlined was Usman's powerful motivation, his love for his father, and his passion for justice. With those things as his drive, Usman's savagery in the cage and pursuit of success takes on a whole new dimension.
Court-appointed attorney?
I think he did, yeah.
Jesus
And bro, my dad just got railroaded, man. And it was like, and it was so heartbreaking to where you're telling a man that has raised his family, raised his kids to work hard, get to a place in life, and you're telling him that the only reason he's there is because he cheated. And it was just one of those things that added a chip on my shoulder. There've been so many moments that put chips on my shoulder.
Kamaru Usman splits the MMA community with his personality and his propensity for victories that aren't particularly flashy. But that doesn't mean he's as boring as some people think. An immigrant who has dealt with tragedy, cares deeply for his family, and holds the respect of his discipline close to heart, there's a lot to like about Kamaru Usman. Through it all, his incredible record is littered with savage moments. These are just a few. What's your favorite savage moment from Kamaru Usman's career? Do you have a favorite that we didn't include? Comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching the Ultimate Fighting Network.